What if a single shopping trip in London could expose a secret war? In 1984, that's exactly what happened. A Pakistani army order for specialized, high altitude gear from a London clothing company accidentally tipped off Indian intelligence to a covert plot, triggering a high stakes military gambit on the roof of the world. This is the story of how India's intelligence agency, RAW, uncovered Pakistan's plan to seize the Siachen glacier and how that intel launched Operation Meghdoot, India's coldest and highest victory. This wasn't just a battle of soldiers, it was a war of wits fought in the shadows long before the first boot ever touched the ice. To really get what happened here, you have to picture the battlefield. The Siachen Glacier is a 76-kilometer river of ice in the Karakoram Range. It's a place so desolate, it's called the Third Pole. Temperatures drop to minus 60 degrees Celsius and the winds can literally rip a person off their feet. For decades, nobody wanted it. So why did it become the world's highest battlefield? The answer lies in a map and a line that was never fully drawn. After the 1949 Karachi Agreement, the ceasefire line between India and Pakistan was marked up to a point called NJ9842. Beyond that, the map just vaguely said the line ran thence north to the glaciers. That ambiguity left a huge unclaimed wedge of territory basically up for grabs. For years, it didn't really matter. But by the late 1970s, that was changing fast. The glacier sits at a critical spot, separating Pakistan-occupied Kashmir from China. For India, holding the high ground of the Saltoro Ridge next to the glacier was non-negotiable. It was the only way to block a military link-up between its two main adversaries and keep an eye on Pakistani activity in the region. For Pakistan, taking Siachen meant gaining a strategic highway to China and threatening India's grip on Ladakh. Slowly, both sides realized this frozen wasteland was priceless. Pakistan even started sponsoring international mountaineering trips to the area, a kind of map-based aggression to stake its claim. The race for the roof of the world was on. By 1983, Pakistan's military leadership had decided to settle the matter. They secretly drew up a plan called Operation Ababil, named after the miraculous birds of Islamic tradition. The goal was audacious: launch a surprise attack to occupy the Siachen Glacier and grab the commanding heights of the Saltoro Ridge, specifically the key mountain passes of Siala and Bilafontla. They circled a date on the calendar, April 17, 1984. They were confident. They believed India had no idea and was completely unprepared to fight in such an extreme environment. Surprise was everything. They started buying specialized high-altitude equipment and training their elite troops from the Special Services Group and Northern Light Infantry for the assault. All the pieces were moving in the shadows for a checkmate that would redraw the map of South Asia. They thought their plan was foolproof. They were wrong. Meanwhile, somebody was watching. India's external intelligence agency, the Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW, operates directly under the Prime Minister's office. Its job is to sniff out foreign threats, and its agents were picking up faint signals that something wasn't right. The big breakthrough didn't come from a satellite or a high-level spy. It came from something far more ordinary. A gear order. A RAW agent, likely part of their European network, discovered that Pakistan had placed a massive order for Arctic weather gear with a London supplier. We aren't talking about a few parkas. This was enough to outfit an entire battalion for a high-altitude war. And here's the crucial part. It was the same company that supplied the Indian army. This tip-off was the first major alarm bell. It was a critical piece of the puzzle. And when RAW's analysts put it together with other whispers of Pakistani military movements, the picture became terrifyingly clear. Pakistan wasn't planning a climbing expedition. It was planning an invasion. The intelligence was solid and the clock was ticking. Pakistan Allah's secret was out and RAW had just given India its most valuable weapon, time. When RAW's intelligence hit the desks of the Indian government, it set off alarms. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was briefed. The evidence was clear. Pakistan was about to seize Siachen. India faced a choice: give up the strategic heights or launch its own incredibly risky operation in the worst conditions imaginable. The decision was made in a flash. India would not wait to be attacked. It would move first. The Indian Army was ordered to launch Operation Meghdoot, or Cloud Messenger, named after a famous Sanskrit poem. The name was poetic, but the mission was going to be brutal. It was a frantic race against time. Raw's intel suggested Pakistan's Operation Abbil would launch on April 17th. India picked April 13th, just 4 days earlier. It was one of those rare moments where intelligence, military planning, and political will all clicked into place. Raw's intel gave the army the head start it desperately needed. The Indian Air Force started a massive airlift, ferrying troops and supplies. Acclimatized soldiers from the Kumaon Regiment and Ladakh Scouts, men hardened by mountain life, were mobilized. To avoid being spotted, they marched through the snow-covered Zojila Pass, getting ready to fight at altitudes where the human body simply starts to give up. The objective was simple: beat Pakistan to the heights and take the passes before Operation Ababil could even get started. On the morning of April 13, 1984, while many in India were celebrating the festival of Vaisakhi, Operation Meghdoot launched. Flying at the absolute edge of their limits, Indian Air Force helicopters began dropping soldiers one by one onto the glacier. The first platoons landed at Belafond La, led by Captain Sanjay Kulkarni. On April 17, the very day Pakistan had planned to attack, another Indian unit secured Siala. The conditions were hell on earth. At over 20,000 feet, the air is razor thin, the cold is relentless, and every single step is exhausting. But the Indian soldiers, showing unbelievable courage, pushed forward and set up posts on the key peaks of the Saltoro Ridge. A few days later, when the Pakistani forces showed up to begin Operation Ababil, they were met with a complete shock. They looked up and the heights they expected to walk into were already taken. Indian soldiers were dug in, looking down at them from the high ground. Operation Meghdoot was a stunning success. India had won the race, crushing Pakistan's plan before it ever really began. By securing the Siala, Belafond La, and later the Gyongla passes, India had taken control of the world's highest battlefield. The capture of Siachen was a monumental feat of military grit and human endurance. But the story isn't just about military might. At its core, it was an intelligence victory. It was the information pieced together by the quiet professionals at RAW that gave India the critical head start, turning what could have been a disaster into a historic success. The cost, however, has been enormous. For decades, both armies have stayed put in this brutal landscape. The biggest killer on Siachen isn't the enemy, it's the weather. More soldiers have died from avalanches, falling into crevasses, and altitude sickness than from combat. The price of guarding this frozen frontier in both lives and money is staggering. But Siachen is more than just a battleground. It's a powerful symbol of the Indian Army's sacrifice and resolve. It showed that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't a rifle, but a single piece of timely information. The coldest victory in India's history was won by the bravery of its soldiers on the ice, thanks to the foresight of its guardians in the shadows. If you found this story of intelligence and courage fascinating, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell for more deep dives into military history.